In this lecture, I'll show you how to install and use VeraCrypt on Windows, which is a free open-source full disk encryption solution. VeraCrypt is multi-platform software that can be installed on Windows, Mac, Linux, or even on FreeBSD. VeraCrypt is still under active development, with the latest encryption standards being supported. Let's see what are VeraCrypt's main features. It encrypts an entire partition or storage device, such as a USB flash drive or a hard drive. It creates a virtual encrypted disk within a file and mounts it as a real disk. This is a file container, and it provides plausible deniability in case an adversary forces you to reveal the password. It provides hidden volumes, which is a type of steganography, and hidden operating systems. Let's get started. The first step is to download and install VeraCrypt as you would any other Windows application. It's recommended to check its digital signature before installing. Take a look at the GPG lecture where I've explained in detail how to verify a digital signature. And I'm downloading VeraCrypt. It's done. I'm clicking the exe file and following the instructions of the wizard. For convenience, I'll use all the default options. Okay, that's all. VeraCrypt has been successfully installed. Let's start the application. There is a shortcut on the desktop. In this video, I'll show you how to encrypt a USB disk. At this moment, I'm inserting a USB disk and I'll click on Create Volume. VeraCrypt Volume Creation Wizard pops up. VeraCrypt supports two different types of volumes. One is a virtual volume that looks and behaves like a regular file, but VeraCrypt can open it and access the files stored within it. Imagine an encrypted file that you mount and use like a drive letter in my computer. The other option encrypts an actual partition or device. The process for an encrypted file container is very similar. I have selected the second option and then I'll click on Next. In the next step, you need to choose whether to create a standard or hidden VeraCrypt volume. A hidden volume is the option of choice when you are afraid not to be forced to reveal the password. It implements the plausible deniability we've talked about in the introduction to full disk encryption. The principle is that a VeraCrypt hidden volume is created within another VeraCrypt volume, in the free space of the volume. Even when the outer volume is mounted, it should be impossible to prove whether there is a hidden volume within it or not. That's because the free space on any VeraCrypt volume is always filled with random data when the volume is created, and no part of the hidden volume can be distinguished from the random data. In this tutorial, I'll create a standard VeraCrypt volume, which is the default. The next step is to choose the volume location. This is in fact the disk or the partition we are going to encrypt. And I'll select the removable USB disk, this one. And next. At this point, I have to select the volume encryption mode. The first option will format and encrypt the volume, and any data on the device or partition will be lost. The second option will try to encrypt the files on the device on the fly, and you won't lose the data that's already on the device. This takes a longer time. However, if the device is empty, you choose the first option. In the next window, you can choose the symmetric algorithm used for encryption and the hash algorithm required in the process of encrypting the disk. If you want, you can compare the speed of each algorithm. If there is no reason to make a change, leave all options to their defaults. Advanced Encryption Standard, or AES, and SHA-512 are extremely secure algorithms. The volume size, the entire disk, and next. In this window, I'll set the volume encryption password. It's important to choose a strong password, which is a random combination of lower and uppercase letters, digits, and special characters. Use at least 14 or 16 characters for a good password. Another option is to use a key file, which can be any file. But if you want to use a key file instead of a password, my advice is to allow VeraCrypt to generate a random one. Here, in this window, using the key file generator. In this tutorial, I'll use a password. And I'll click on Next. If you think you'll store files that are larger than 4 GB, click this option. If not, leave it to the default. In this window, we'll choose how to format the drive. I'll select the file system as being FAT. FAT is good for compatibility. And I'll select Quick Format because I don't want to wait too long. Note that the Quick Format option comes with a small risk, which is in most cases acceptable. And I'm clicking on Format. This warning says that the disk will be erased and all data lost. So make a backup if you have any valuable data on the disk. This warning says that the disk will not be accessed with the same drive letter from now on. If, for example, the disk was accessed in my computer using drive letter D, it won't be accessed anymore using the original drive letter. Okay, that's all. The disk was formatted and encrypted. Now, let's mount and use the disk. I'll click on Select Device and then select the disk. In this case, XD. I'm selecting the drive and then a new letter for the encrypted volume. As I said, I cannot use the same drive letter. You can choose anything you want and I'll select A and mount it. And it's prompting for the encryption password. After entering the correct password, the encryption disk is available in my computer as drive letter A. This is the encrypted disk. Keep in mind that this is transparent encryption, which offers data at rest protection. Data on disk is protected through encryption only when the disk is not mounted. At this moment, when the disk is unlocked and mounted, there is no protection. Also note that when you insert the disk, the Windows operating system will not recognize it and want to format it. Let's see what's all about. I'm dismounting the disk, exit, and I'm inserting the USB disk again. Notice how Windows wants to format the disk. I'm clicking on Cancel, OK, and Cancel. I'm opening VeraCrypt, Select the device, mount, and enter the password. The disk was unlocked and I can use it transparently. This is the encrypted disk.